We are having more than 15 years of teaching experience in O and A levels. Hi students, welcome to our next class, which is regarding the basic concepts of organic chemistry. This time we are heading to the functional groups. So what is a functional group? Functional group is an atom or group of atoms which gives specific properties to a molecule. For example, Cl negative. You can call it a functional group because when this Cl negative mean chloride ion, which is regarded as an ion or radical, but for the sake of simplicity we will call it an atom. Although it's not an atom, be clear once again, it's an ion or radical. So OH negative, this is a single atom, this is group of atom, and it will give special properties to a molecule. For example, we have alkyl groups here, and as per previous lecture you might know that alkyl groups have one valency available. For example, it is methyl, so CH3, and this fourth valency is available. If we write it in the structural form, it will be like this, CH3, and this one is available. And now you can see, if this Cl comes here, it will be CH3Cl, mean chloromethane or methyl chloride. Chloromethane is its IUPAC name and methyl chloride is its general name. Likewise, we have CH3 once again here, and OH, if it comes here, then it becomes CH3OH, which is called methanol. In IUPAC, this is methanol, and you can call it methyl alcohol, which is the general name to this. In the same way, this is chloromethane in IUPAC, and you can call it methyl chloride as the general name. So this is the functional group. Once again, let's repeat the definition. Functional group is basically an atom or group of atoms which gives specific properties to a molecule. Now this Cl negative, when attached to CH3, it became halogenoalkane, and when the same OH negative attached to the same CH3 group, its functional group is changed, and now this compound belongs to alcohol family, and this belongs to halogenoalkane. So this was the basic thing regarding functional group. Now we are going to discuss the detail of the functional groups and their types, their common names and their examples. So stay tuned. So now we are going to discuss the common functional groups which are used in A levels, O levels, FSC and matriculation based examination systems. So the first and foremost is this functional group, which is the double bond. When you see carbon to carbon double bond, this carbon to carbon double bond is itself a functional group, and we call it an alkene. Carbon to carbon triple bond is again another functional group which we call alkyne. And OH dash OH, this dash means that we will need to place R before this. So when we place R before this, it will become alcohol. Otherwise, it is named as hydroxy. For example, there is an R group, mean alkyl group before this OH, then definitely it is an alcohol. Otherwise, this is what we call as hydroxy, because OH is written as hydroxy. For example, we are going to write the formula for 2-hydroxypropanoic acid, which is also called lactic acid. So the formula for this will be here. This OH will not be regarded as alcohol because high priority functional group is already present, which is the carboxylic group. That's why this time we will regard it as hydroxy. So in the same way, after alcohol we have aldehyde. If you see this, it would be always terminal, mean on one side of the molecule, C double bond OH, this functional group is called aldehyde. And if you see OH right there before C double bond O, just like this, only O is added to the previous formula, so it becomes a carboxylic acid. And if on both sides of this carbon, which is called carbonyl carbon, this is what we call carbonyl carbon or carbonyl group. If on both sides of this carbon you have alkyl group, just like this, R, C double bond O dash R, it would be regarded as ketone. And up to now, very easy and simple, because alkene, alkyne, alcohol, then you can feel that these are resembling. C double bond O carbonyl carbon is always present in these, and next we are going to discuss the next functional groups. But aldehyde, carboxylic acid are primary, having the primary difference as O only, because when you O add oxygen atom to aldehyde, it becomes carboxylic acid. And when you have two R groups on both sides of carbonyl carbon or carbonyl group, then we call it as a ketone. So this is helpful in identifying the functional groups which are being used. In this topic or lecture, we are not discussing the naming of the compounds, that how will you name them, but this is regarding the introduction of functional groups and how you identify the functional groups. Their naming will be discussed later on in the nomenclature topic, but still let's move to the remaining functional groups here. And the next functional group here is esters. This looks like this, R, C double bond O, O, R. This functional group, this one, this portion, when present, and after this O, R group is present, then we call it ester. And it's not necessary that R is always here. If you place a hydrogen atom, again it will be an ester. So when we will discuss the nomenclature, we'll move on to the different forms this functional group can take. And next is amine. And in the same way, before NH2, this is amine group. And before amine, you should be having R group. So then this is the functional group of amine. For example, CH3NH2. Next one is nitrile. Nitrile functional group is C triple bond N. We have opened this bond to show you. You can also write it like CN. But in fact, there is a triple bond between carbon and nitrogen. So these are called also nitriles as well as cyanides. When we place R here, it becomes a nitrile or cyanide, and keep in mind you can place H here too. For example, if we place H here, C triple bond N, this is what we call hydrogen cyanide, and it's a neurotoxic compound, neurotoxic gas. As soon as it is inhaled, it starts to paralyze the nervous system. So this is toxic hydrogen cyanide. And this one is the first example to hydrogen cyanide, is the first example to the nitrile group or cyanide group. And the next functional group is halides. Halides are the negative ions of all the halogen family. So this is called halide. For example, halogen family includes fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and astatine. And if we place negative radical on this, or negative sign on this, so all these radicals are called halides, and it's again a functional group. When R is before the halide radical, so it becomes another functional group. For example, once again for the sake of simplicity, we place CH3 before F, so and write F, so it becomes fluoromethane. And if we write the name to this, it becomes CH3Cl chloromethane. You can also call it methyl chloride, but chloromethane is the IUPAC name. Likewise, you can write the names and the chemical formulas of all the compounds which could be formed from here. This is the derivative of methane, which is a methyl group, and all these formulas are regarding the methyl group. In the same way, for example, you write here C2H5, which is alkyl family, then it will be fluoroethane, and so on, C2H5 Cl chloroethane, because ether stands for 2 as discussed in the basic concepts of hydrocarbons. So this C2H5 is actually ethyl group, and when you place Cl with this, it becomes chloroethane or ethyl chloride. So this was our detail of the basic introduction of the functional groups. Now let's move on to the examples of each functional group and their slight naming. Since these are the basic concepts, so we will not discuss all the naming IUPAC naming conventions in detail, but will give you the fair idea that will help you or enable you to write the names of different chemical compounds. For example, the first and foremost functional group what we discussed was alkene, and its functional group formula is like this. So when we write the formula of 1-propene, for example, propene, first of all we need to write its chemical formula. Propa stands for 3, C3, and ene shows the alkene family to which it belongs, and the general formula for alkene family is CnH2n. So we have to simply double that number C3, and H2n mean H6. C3H6 is the chemical formula for propane, and now we have to write it in structural form. So you can see already 2 carbons are there. So this third carbon which is right there now fulfill the valencies, and this is another hydrogen. Now you can see this is propane because it has the molecular formula C6, C3H6, and here you can see that all the valencies of the carbon are fulfilled, they are occupied. That's why this formula is chemically correct. But we need to know that if we write it like this, the same formula in condensed form can be written like this. So this is once again propene, but now it's better to call it 1-propene, because if you start your numbering from the functional group side as per IUPAC rule, this is the first carbon, this is second, and this is the third one. And we already know that the parent chain length is 3 carbons, so we know it is propa, but still there is a double bond, so it is propene. But from where this 1 is coming, actually you need to notice the number of carbon atoms in which this double bond is present, and always lower number is assigned. That's why we call it 1-propene, and it is written like this. This 1 shows the position of double bond. It's not prominent here, but still we have pentene, for example. We don't know at which position the double bond is, but write the formula for pentene, and this is the 5 carbon. As per convention, you might have known up to now that penta stands for carbon number 5. So we have written 5 carbons, and if we place double bond here, then start numbering from this side: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And why we are supposed to start numbering from this side and not from this side? Because the functional group is nearby here. So that's why we need to start the numbering at which from the position at which the double bond is closest. So that's why now you can see double bond exists between carbon number 2 and 3. So we will assign the lower number 2, and then the parent chain length after you fulfill the valencies. This would be parent chain length is 5, so it is a pentene. We will call it 2-pentene. And if we call it 1-pentene, then you got it right. The bond, double bond should be between carbon number 1 and 2, and the remaining things remain same. All the valencies must be fulfilled, otherwise the chemical formula will be wrong. So in order to make it 1-pentene from 2-pentene, a simple step: write 5 carbons, and between carbon number 1 and 2 place a double bond. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now we need to fulfill the valency of carbons by placing suitable number of hydrogen atoms, and it must not exceed 4, or it should not be less than 4. Now we got 1-pentene rather than 2-pentene, so this is 1-pentene. And now we are going to discuss the next functional group, which was the alcohol functional group OH. And we told you that OH is the formula for alcohol. If there is an R, mean alkyl group before this OH, then it is definitely an alcohol. And the first member of this alkyl family is CH3. And if you place OH with this, it is called methanol or methyl alcohol in general, and methanol is the IUPAC name. Since all the relevant courses are concerned more with the IUPAC name, so we will be using only the IUPAC name here rather than the general name. So this is what we call methanol. And this OL represents the alcohol functional group is present, and metha stands for the parent chain length. Next member is C2H5 OH, and you can see there are 2 carbons, and this is overall an R group, and OH is also present, so 2 is called etha. Now we call it as ethanol. And you can also write this in stretched form like this. This is again ethanol, because this C2H5 when stretched it becomes CH3-CH2. Now this is an ethanol. In the same way, propanol, its chemical formula should be C3H7OH. Butanol, C4H9OH. And if you don't know from where these formulas are coming, from where this C4H9 is coming, we recommend you to view our previous lecture, which is the basics of hydrocarbons. Over there we have explained all the 4 hydrocarbon series and their families and their general formulas. So you can move to the previous lecture first to interpret this one. Next is pentanol, which will be C5H11OH. And for the sake of simplicity, we tell you that alkyl functional group general formula is CnH2n plus 1. So hexanol, hexa stands for 6. So we will place 6 here, C6. H2n mean 12 plus 1 13, C6H13 OH. This is what we call hexanol, and so on up to decanol, and for deca stands for 10. So C10 H21 as per this same convention, and then OH. This is what we call decanol. So this is the way how you write the basic formulas, how you write the basic names and their chemical formulas, and you saw how easy it is. And if you are unable to understand any concept, you can let us know in the comments, and we will try our best to instantly answer your concerns. Now we move on to the next functional group, which is aldehyde. So aldehyde functional group, as told earlier, has this basic functional group C double bond O dash H. This is what we call aldehyde functional group. And now we can place one H before this, and it will become methanol. And how it became methanol? This Al tells you about the nature of aldehyde functional group, which is right there, and metha stands for 1. It means there is one carbon including this functional group carbon. While dealing with this, you have to include this carbon as number 1 because the functional group already contains carbon, so you have to consider it as number 1. So this is only one carbon, and as a whole the functional group of aldehyde is also present. That's why we call it methanol. And now same aldehyde functional group, and if we write first member of alkyl family here, which is CH3, then CH3 C double bond O H. Now you can see they have 2 carbons, so it means ethanol. This Al once again shows you the functional group, and ether stands for 2. So including this functional group carbon, you have to place only 2 carbons here, and it becomes ethanol. In the same way, propanol, it will be written like this: CH3, CH2, C double bond O H, and if you condense this thing, you can call it C2H5 dash C double bond O dash H, and this is in total the 3 carbons, and functional group is aldehyde, so you can call it propanol. In same way, butanol, pentanol, hexanol, and up to decanol. For example, the last member, because the remaining functional groups you will write it on your own, and if you find any difficulty you can let us know, but for practice purpose you should write them. Since we are supposed to write the formula of decanol, so we will write as C9. Why 9? Because the 10th carbon will be of the functional group. So C9, H double that number, add 1, 19 dash C double bond O H. This is the formula of decanol, because there are 9 carbon parent chain here, and this is the 10th one. So, but although it is 10th, but it is number 1 carbon, mean first carbon. When you start numbering, you will always start it from here. And now the next functional group is carboxylic acid, which has the general formula this one. This is the carboxylic functional group, and in the same way as discussed earlier, before this carbon, if we place one H here, then its name will be, now you can see this is the functional group of carboxylic group, and if we place hydrogen here, you can see carbon number is 1. 1 means metha, so methanoic acid. This oic acid actually represents the parent functional group, because all the chemical compound which have functional group as carboxylic acid, their name will be carrying oic acid. Since oic acid represents this one and there is 1 carbon atom, so we will call it methanoic acid. And now for ethanoic acid, the first member of alkyl family, which is here, because we have R here, so CH3, C double bond O dash OH. Now you can see, including this carbon, there are 2 carbons, and 2 carbon are called etha. So etha and noic acid will be same, because this oic acid will be the part of every compound formed from this functional group. Now propanoic acid, butanoic acid, and pentanoic acid, and so on. And we are going to the last compound of this series, which will be decanoic acid. So C9, H19, C double bond O dash OH. And now see, it is decanoic acid because 9 carbon are here, and this is the 10th one. But regarding its position, it is the first carbon. So it is called decanoic acid. And our next functional group is ketone, and we told you this carbonyl carbon, if it contains R on both sides of this C double bond O, this is what we call ketone, and its simplest example is CH3, because it's mandatory to have an R group here, because if we don't place R here and place H, the form will be different. For example, if I place H here, then C double bond O dash H, again you can see this becomes the functional group of aldehyde. So that's why we cannot place hydrogen here, rather we will have to place the first member at least of alkyl family, which is this one. So now once again the same member, and this is what we call 2-propanone. And this known thing represents that it is a ketone. 2 shows the position of carbonyl carbon and propa shows the parent chain length. Since we are not discussing the naming here in detail, so these are only the general example for a generalized understanding of the topic. So that's why we will be telling you only their names with reference. For example, next is C2H5, the next member, C2H5 on both sides. So you can see this is ethyl group C2H5. We will call it diethyl ketone in general, and if you consider the IUPAC name of this thing, it will be 3-pentanone. And why it's 3-pentanone? If you extend this formula, it will be like this: CH3 CH2. We have extended this C2H5, then C double bond O, CH2, CH3. We have extended this one as well, and now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the third carbon, and third carbon is the carbonyl carbon. That's why we have placed 3-pentanone, and this none represents the ketone functional group, penta represents the parent chain length, and 3 represent the position. Now if we are supposed to write the formula for 2-heptanone, then simple 2-heptanone, first write its name, and out of this information you know none stands for ketone, hepta means 7, and 2 shows the position. So simply place 7 carbon atoms there. Without any confusion, you should know that it is a ketone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what should be the position of carbonyl carbon? Of course 2. You can start it from here and then fulfill the valencies. And this is called 2-heptanone because there are 7 carbons. So 2-heptanone, this is the basic formula for 2-heptanone. There is another alternative name or general name for this. We will be discussing that name later in detail. But up to now, since we were focusing on IUPAC name, that's why we have given you the example, relevant example regarding the IUPAC name. And now let's move on to the next functional group. And our next functional group is ester, and it looks like this. Here it must be an R, right? Because if we replace the R by simple hydrogen atom, it will be C double bond O OH and it will be carboxylic acid once again. So it is necessary that here the R group must be present. And now the first example regarding this, before this carbon, instead of placing R, our first alkyl member, if I place H here, and for this R the first member of alkyl family, now this is the form. How to name this thing? Very easy. While naming, you have to name this R group first, and it is methyl CH3, so methyl, and you can see this is the functional group of ester, what we call O8. So whatever the functional group of ester is present, we call it O8, means the chemical name of the formula, means the chemical name of the compound will be having this O8 thing. For example, methyl, and this is the first carbon and first is called metha. You will not consider this second carbon because we have already named it here in the form of methyl, and it's a naming convention for esters that you write this alkyl portion first and then consider the number of carbon atoms and place this OH there. For example, here is one carbon, so you call it as methanoate. And if you are unable to understand this thing, let's move to the second example, which is this one. Because before this carbon, after the first example, we could place H. Now we have to place the R group, which is the first family member. So O and CH3. Now we call it once again, this is named first of all methyl. These are two carbons and functional group of ester is already present. So we call it ethanoate. And noate thing represents the functional group. So take another example. For example, C2H5, C double bond O, C3H7, and we are supposed to write its name. This is the formula, and we are supposed to write its name. Very simple. So mark this C3H7, and this C3H7 is called propyl, and take this and this into account. So there are total 3 carbons, and 3 carbon are called propa. And when you add this OH thing due to functional group, so it becomes propyl 2 and 1 3 propanoate. This is how you name this functional group family, which was called as ester. Now let's move on to the next family, and now we are going to discuss the remaining functional groups. First one was amine, which shows here, and we cannot place H before this dash, because for example, if we place H, it will no more be an amine, because now you can easily see it is NH3. But we can say that amine group is hidden inside ammonia, but first member of alkyl group should be here, which is CH3 NH2, which is methyl amine, C2H5 NH2, it is ethyl amine, or aminoethane, aminomethane. These are alternative possibilities for their naming conventions. C3H7 NH2, aminopropane or propylamine, and so on. So this is the way how we name this amine thing. And next family is nitrile. If you have any doubts up to now, you can ask in comments, and we will be prioritizing your comments and will be responding you as soon as possible. Now let's move on to the nitrile family, which was also called as cyanide, C triple bond N. And if we place H before this carbon, it becomes HC triple bond N, which is called hydrogen cyanide, and as told earlier, it's a neurotoxic gas. And if we place the first member of alkyl group here, which is CH3 CN, this is called methyl nitrile, ethyl nitrile, C2H5 CN, ethyl nitrile, and so on. When you are able to identify this nitrile functional group, you can place any R group here and get the name accordingly. So the last functional group what we are going to discuss is alkyne functional group, as told you in the beginning of this lecture. Now let's get back to the alkyne and their typical examples. So now the last functional group, which is alkyne, and its identification is presence of a triple bond between 2 carbon atoms. For example, if we place H before this carbon and after this carbon, you get C2H2, which is ethine. And you can also place R groups before and after. For example, if I place CH3 before this and C triple bond C, CH3 here once again. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, simply name them. You can see between carbon number 2 and 3 there is a triple bond, so low number is assigned 2 and parent chain length is buta. and YNE. This shows you that it belongs to the alkyne family, so its name is 2-butene, right? In the same way, we can write the different functional groups of the alkyne in different ways. Now take another example, and here for example we have 5 carbons, and to one end of this carbon is a triple bond. Now we will start numbering from where the position of the triple bond is close. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now fulfill the valencies. It will become, you can see 1 and 2, so low number will be assigned 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 penta 5, and YNE is basically due to this functional group. You got it right. So this is 1 pentyne, and in the same way we can write the other possible formulas for this functional group. Now this functional group topic is complete, and since these are the basics topic, so we are not putting more focus on their IUPAC thing or general names, but up to now you must have been enabled to write the formulas and understand them and get the basic formulas, their general names and their IUPAC names specifically. So that's all for now, and we'll see you in our next lecture. Thanks for watching the video.